Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us for today's webinar. My name is David Longley and I'm one of the business development managers at inspHire. I've been at inspHire for 4 years, and as part of my job I engage with many business owners and managers who are looking to get more out of their business by utilising the tools available within the inspHire family of products. inspHire are part of the Kerridge Commercial Systems Group and have been providing the rental market a specialist solution since 1997. We've over 100 employees working in our offices based in the Netherlands, South Africa, Australia, and our headquarters in Nottingham. In these offices, we support over 3,500 customers who use one of our 4 core rental products. Today, we're going to be looking at various ways you can improve your transport processes using a broad range of inspHire features. Before we get started, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your GoToMeeting control panel. I'll aim to answer these at the end of the presentation or get back to you individually. Now let's take a look at today's agenda. So obviously with the transport side of things, we're going to be looking at deliveries and collections and how we can manage that. And we've got 2 facilities here, the inspHire Daybook and also push messaging. So the Daybook is more for if you have, for example, like a run that you'd like to plan in advance, several deliveries, several collections, and then push messaging for your ad hoc. Also how we communicate with our customers, not only kind of externally, but also internal stakeholders as well. So we have an action configurator. And then also we've got daily vehicle checks so that we're making sure that obviously our vehicles are compliant before we actually go and carry these tasks out. Before we go into the actual demonstration today, I'd just like to bring up a poll question here. So do you feel that you could improve the way you manage the transport aspects of your business? If you could just click yes or no on there, just gives us a good idea of what our starting point is. See where you guys all are, and then we'll have a similar question afterwards as well. Okay, I can see the answers coming through there. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to play you a recording that will take you through the transport module. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is inspHire's deliveries and collections screen. With this screen, it will display all of the deliveries in green, as you can see here, and the collections in red. And this screen is populated when we perform other functions within the system. So when we put a contract together, it will ask us what the delivery date is on there. And when we come to start the off-hire process, obviously any collections populate into this screen. So we have a nice week view just here. If we drill down into one of the days, so let's have a look at today's, you can see it pulls through the different column headers as well. So we get the basic information of the what type of job it is, the time that we're expected on site, contract numbers, but also what we have. We appreciate different customers have different needs. So we've got these hidden columns. So if we want to pull through maybe, I don't know, the postcode, we can click, drag and drop, and that will pop that on there for us. And if we do it on the week view, it will actually apply it to every single day that we have on there as well. What we're also able to do here is print, for example, all of the delivery notes for a particular day. And that way, obviously, some customers would like to print all the delivery notes for the day, for the next day, put them into a tray, the drivers come along, and then they're able to go out and carry out those deliveries. If we go back to the week view here, what we're also able to do is if we right click, we can actually amend any kind of drivers or associate drivers to these jobs. So we can set up human resources within the system as well. So if I was just to add somebody on here, you can see the level of information that we're able to capture against each of the human resources as well. And then what we can do on each particular day is, if we're wanting to actually give somebody maybe a run to tell them what they're actually going to be doing for that day, we can print off a detailed run. It's actually one of the delivery and collections due reports. or we could do a summary. Now this delivery and collection screen can also link directly to our daybook, which we're going to have a look at next. So the daybook is split into three areas of the screen, as you can see. On the left hand side we have what's called the daybook view. This shows all of the tiles that we are due to allocate onto our runs. So we have, in this case, the green ones are deliveries, the blue ones are collections. I've got a yellow one here as well, which is like a memo. So that could just be a memo that we're sending to the driver. In this case, the example, don't forget to refuel the van. But as you can see here on the left hand side, we can actually pull through many other types of tiles as well, such as even things like depot transfers or workshop jobs as well. In the middle we've got the logistics view, so this is where we're actually going to put together the runs, allocate a vehicle and driver. And on the right hand side here we've got the items tab as well. So if I was to click on one of these tiles here, I can actually view what makes up that particular tile. So in this case here I've got 2 mobile welfare units, and I can actually view any accessories that go with those as well. Now we appreciate as well that sometimes it's not as simple as that. You've got one order, you might need potentially several vehicles, potentially over several days as well, for one particular delivery. So what we're able to do here is we could actually split this tile. So these 2 welfare units, maybe they're going on individual vehicles, we could actually split the tile here. So by selecting that, we can actually say, okay, well, we want this particular welfare unit with these accessories to go out and actually split onto a different tile. And there we go. So then I can allocate those. So now you see we've got one tile just there and then another one just there. And if we wanted to, we could change the day. So we could move it to a different day if we wanted. But again, that then means that we can click, drag and drop into the middle of the screen, and you see we've created our first run here. Now with the runs, we can input the vehicle. So again, as part of the stock process, we input the resources. So your vehicles would go into the system here, and also your human resources, your drivers. We can also have additional fields for assistance if needed as well. Now you'll notice in the right hand corner here as well, it does actually also tot up the weight for us as well of the items that are in the particular run as well. So if I wanted to add now, let's say a collection, just to build up the run, we can continue to add items, and you see obviously the weight on the right hand side. If we've got a weight against the assets, they will continue to add there. If we want to create a different run, we just click down here into this blank space at the bottom. We could allocate a different driver to this run as well. We can plan ahead, obviously, so you can see we've got the date fields here, so we could do this the day before potentially. We can work on a depot by depot basis, and there are quite a few options as well here for the system, for example, to create some runs automatically. And we can also have this on a timer for it to refresh as well. But what we'll do is we're just going to send this one off now for us. So what we'll do is we will activate this run. And by activating the run, what it does is it will print off for us the run sheet. So we can use the daybook with or without our inspHire mobile app. So if we're not using the app, then you can see here we've got a daybook run plan. So the driver has a full plan of where they're going, and then they'll be able to match the delivery notes alongside that. So you can see the contract, the type of job it is, and then we have the delivery and collection notes would be just here. But as you see there, one or more runs have been activated as well. Now, many of our customers will utilize one of the facilities within inspHire and inspHire Mobile, and that's the daily defects check. So before our driver can actually start going into the jobs that they have for that particular day, we can require that they have to carry out a particular set of checks on the vehicle that they're going to be working on. And as you notice, it pops up the first time that you log into the app for that particular user on that day, and it doesn't allow them to actually do anything until they've carried out the check. So if I just put my asset number in this case of a van, You can see there it comes up transit van, who the tester is, and then I've got some criteria here. So just a checklist that we can set up in the background. Is the vehicle clean? We can put in some text if we need to as well. But in essence, we can say whether they are green, amber, or red. So we can go through and we can check. We can also have a number of mandatory photos that need to be taken as well. So if you did want to take, for example, 4 photos of the tyres, we could have a number 4 here, and then 4 photos would need to be taken of the tyres for them to be able to progress. Anything that's marked as green or amber will allow the user to proceed into the app and carry out their work. Anything that's red would be classed as a fail, so they wouldn't be able to carry out and actually use this particular vehicle. If it's amber, what we'll show you is it will come through into the system as a warning. Capture the signature, save it down. And we can also have an automated email actually sent to a designated user that would receive the daily vehicle check as well. So now this information comes back into inspHire Office, into the defect management tab under the maintenance. And as you can see here, we've got those 2 defects that we had that we've just recorded on the mobile app that come through for this vehicle. So it will show us exactly what it's failed on or what we actually need to address. And once we've addressed these, maybe put it into a workshop job, we can then complete these defects so they disappear from the list as well. So this ensures that obviously we're complying, making sure that our drivers are compliant, that they've checked their vehicles before they go out on their daily runs, and obviously they've got all that information when they're keeping track of any defects as well. So we just had the message come through that we've got a new journey, which is obviously what we've done by activating this run in the daybook. So if we open up the journey, today's date, you can see we've named this journey the morning run, and this is exactly what the driver would see. So in the order that we've put it onto the daybook, it pulls through into the driver's app and they can start their job. When they open the job, the address here highlighted in blue is a link, so if they were to tap on that, it would open up, for example, Google Maps, so they could use it as a sat-nav GPS so that they can find where they're going. And same for the telephone number. So again, if they're running late, for example, they can pull over, tap on that, it opens up the phone's dialer, and away they go. Here with the items. So this pulls through obviously all the information that we had on the original delivery note for the items that need to be delivered on this delivery. Now, if, for example, we're not able to deliver something, or when we come to deliver it, it's not there, we can untick, unmark it, and that will pull through back into the main system and obviously notify us that we need to address that issue. What we can also do against certain items is we can set up checks. So delivery defect checklist. And again, these are just a list of criteria that I've put in myself here. So check if clean. Yep, that's fine. Check if empty. And we can go through and check these. And it's more of a reminder, really, just to make sure that we are actually checking certain things. We can add notes here as well if needed to feed back into the main system. Capture a signature and save it down. And that's back in there. We can also add photos of the delivery, which we'll do on the next one in a moment. Coming back here, we can also have a custom checkbox as well. So for example, I've just got one as an example here, iPath familiarization check. So we could tick that. That could be absolutely anything there. Again, just a final checkbox by the signature to make sure that we've actually done that. Maybe we have to show the customer how a particular piece of equipment works, and we need that to be ticked off. Pop any notes in, print the customer's name, capture the signature, and then we can have any terms and conditions that come up as well. Just before I click on that, what I'm going to do is go back into the daybook here, and we can have this on an auto refresh, but if I just manually refresh it, what you'll now notice is within the daybook, against this tile that we're actually working on at the moment, we now see we have this clipboard. And that means that we're basically in this particular job. So back in the office, we can actually see, right, okay, we're in this job, and if the customer's maybe called in and said, where is the driver for this collection, we can say, okay, they're on the job just previous to yours, they won't be too long. If we can complete the delivery now, terms and conditions, accept those, pop the signature in, save it down. What we can also have is that whilst we're on site, we can have kind of a more up-to-date version of the carbon copy paper. So in the past, it'd be customer signs here, rip the top copy off, hand it to the driver, and then away we go. So now we've completed that delivery, and we can move on to the next one. Back in inspHire Office now, if I refresh the screen here and we keep an eye on this clipboard, again, remember it'll be on an auto refresh, we can see that it's now marked with 2 ticks to say that we've completed it. Shows us the time that we were on site, the time that we were off site, and we'd be able to actually go and view that information as well. And I'll show you in just a moment the information that we can capture against each delivery and collection as well. More and more often now, we're finding that our inspHire customers are wanting to keep their own customers more informed about what's going on with the hire processes, such as notifying them that their delivery has been dispatched and is with the driver and on its way. So what we've got now is the action configurator, and basically this allows us to set up automatic text messages or emails to be sent to a predefined email address or to a certain user on the back of an inspHire option. So you can see on the left hand side here, it's broken down into some of the key areas of the system, so hire, sales, purchase orders, workshop and invoicing, and within each of these we have the inspHire actions that we could perform, so such as creating a new contract. So you might want, when a new contract's created, it notifies a member of the management team. And you can see some of the ones we've got here: printing picking lists, delivery and collection charges added. So there are many that you can actually use, and many that you can create an email or a text message on the back of. But the one I wanted to show you here was, for example, printing of a delivery note. So when the delivery note is printed on the back of, let's say, the day book, we could either have an email or a text message sent to, in this case, the customer directly, or who ordered it, or to a site contact. And what we can do is we can build up that email, for example, or text message, and say, for example, dear, and then what we can do here, you see, is we've got database fields. So it'll actually pull through the contact's name specifically. So that person will be getting, a dear David, dear John, dear Mark. Your equipment for contract, and same principle, it'll pull through the contract number as well. So each customer is going to get a personalized email, and we've also got a condition builder in the background. So this allows us to filter through ones that we don't want, that we want to come through potentially, so based on where they are or what equipment they've had, for example, as well. So we can do emails, and we can also do text messages as well. And you can see here, these are some of the text message systems that we integrate to, so MessageBird, Pilvo and Twilio as well. Okay, so let's say now maybe that you don't necessarily have a transport planning team. Maybe you don't even put runs together because you don't have enough deliveries and collections in a day to really warrant it. They're kind of more ad hoc, if you like. So what we've got for those customers is this push messaging screen. And this basically is more of a lightweight way of allocating tasks to drivers, engineers as well. And you can see I've got my deliveries and my collections listed just here. So I can click on the delivery, select my user. I want to put a message in, maybe the gate code is whatever. Click send. We'll go back into the mobile app. Message arrives. So here's our delivery. Pull the message through there, open that up now, and exactly in the same fashion that we did with the day book, we can go in, we can do our checks that we need to. We can sign those off. We can capture a photo. There we go. Terms and conditions again, as we had before. Save that down. And you see it's not letting me actually click on that now because it's saying I've not checked that box that must be checked that we set up earlier on. Email confirmation can go out, and then that's delivery done. Now if we go back into the system here and we have a look at that information that was actually captured. So if I now go into view contract, click on documents, and you can see here against the delivery note saying, do we have a signature? Yes we do. Click on mobile actions, and here we have those mobile actions just there. So we've got the signature, we've got the start time, the end time, we've got the location set. If we've got the location settings on our phone turned on, it will pull through the longitude and latitude. Any images will appear just there, and then what we can do is we can reprint the delivery note. You see it pulls through any images we have just there, and then the signature will come through as well. We can also have it that the system will automatically, once we've confirmed delivery, put this on hire for us at that moment, or we can go into the contract and confirm delivery ourselves. So that's one half of the process in terms of the collection now. So that's contract 4321. If we go into our off hire not confirmed, so the customer's called us, told us that they'd like to off hire this. So we're going to set up the collection. We can go in, we can do partial returns as well, so it doesn't necessarily have to be all of the items on a particular contract. Let's just put this on hire for a week. There you go, so the equipment will be returned on the 21st. Click accept off hire. That creates a collection note for us here, which then, if we go to the 21st in the push messaging screen and refresh, there's our collection 4321. And in the same process that we did before, send it to the mobile user. Open up the collection. Now we've got the items just here as well. And then what we're able to do, let's say for example that this 24-ton excavator's come back damaged and we're on site, we can actually click on this and say quantity returned OK is 0, quantity damaged is 1, and when we mark that it actually comes up and says we could capture some damage notes and also a damage photo. So it might be that, for example, we've got a broken window here, let's say, damage photo. So we can capture that photo just there, save that down, and we can capture a general photo as well if needed. To say that we've actually collected it. Just go through the process of completing it. Same as before, we can send a confirmation whilst we're on site. And then we've completed that collection just there. Now if we go to the off-hire screen and look at that contract, you can see it says here quantities have been modified by mobile working, check the quantities before continuing. So we can go into the excavator here, and now it will pull through that we've got the quantity that was damaged as 1. We'll be able to see the description there as the broken window. We'll have the image there. Actually, we'll just replace that image and put a different one in. There we go. So we've got our broken window. And then the system will ask us if we'd like to create a damage letter, because we've marked something as damaged. The same principle can be done for losses as well, but now this damage letter will actually populate directly from the mobile app, so you can see the image that will have pulled through and the description there as well. Okay, so hopefully you found all that information useful and informative. What I'd just like to do now that you've seen that, is just ask you one final poll question. And that question should be on screen now. Oh, just having a slight issue with the polls there. Not to worry. Hopefully you found that useful. If you do have any questions about it, then obviously please do let us know. Appreciate you being here today, and we hope you found that all the content useful and informative. Attached to the webinar, you can find a PDF for today's presentation. There is also a quick feedback survey at the end of the webinar, if you'd be so kind, just to give us a little bit of feedback. And like I say, if you'd like to discuss anything you've seen today, please reach out to myself or our sales team, sales@inspHire.com. And we're more than happy to assist. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you again next time.